Rewriting equations and formulas. Rewriting literal equations. An equation that has two or more variables is called a literal equation. Okay? So here we have to rewrite a literal equation, solve for one variable in terms of the other variables. So if you think about it, it means what? What does literal equation mean? It's a variable or letter that represents a number or an unknown quantity such as x in an equation. Sometimes you have more than two variables. You might have an x, a y, or a, b, and have an x. So we need to rewrite. So think about this. When we did 1.2 and 1.3, we were rewriting and solving for who? For x, correct? So think of this, instead of solving for an x, we'll be solving for the actual. We did this, correct? We did x equals 4. This was the solution, correct? Instead now, what we're looking for is to solve for the variable. That's the difference between rewriting a literal equation and actual equations. Literal means it has variables. So here it says, solve the literal equation y equals 3x plus 5xz for x. So who are we solving for? To begin with, who are they telling us to solve for? For x, correct? Who is solved right here, right now? If we have y equals 3x plus 5xz, who is solved right now? Who do they solve for? We are solving for x, but if you notice here, who's really solved right now? Y, correct? So where the y is at, they want the x to be there. Okay, that's where they want the x to be there. How do you think we could get rid? That means that these two x over here and over here needs to be what? Left alone, correct? So how can we solve for x here? Let's think. How can I get rid of to start solving for x? Do you guys remember grouping, which is the opposite of, remember grouping, factoring, which is the opposite of what? Distributing, right? You used to have this. We did this, right? Where you had 5x plus 5. What do we do here? We distribute, right? And we have what? 5x plus 25, correct? So we're going to use instead in opposite form. Think of it the distributive property. If I have y equals, what can I take out there? In this common and this common, what can I take out? Can I take out the 3? Can I take out, do they both have 3's? We have 1, 3. Is the 5 the what? So if I have x in both forms, do I have z in the other one? It's only in one, correct? So that means that I could factor out what? An x. And what am I left with? 3 plus 5z. Correct? And how can I get rid of now to solve for x? You're going to divide by what? 3 plus 5z on both sides. Does this cancels out? And I'm left with what? Y over 3 plus 5z equals x. And that's your answer right there. Solve the literal equation for who? For y. So in number 1, we have what? 3y minus x equals what? 9. Who are we solving for? Correct, for y, correct? So that means that the y is next to a what? The coefficient is 3, right? You can only get, that means that's multiplication. You can only get that rid of that by what? by division, right? But before that, do we have to undo a subtraction or addition that we have here? Who should we get rid of first? The x or the 3? So what's the inverse of negative x? Plus x, right? So we're left with 3y equals x plus 9. Or 9 plus x, correct? Same thing. Now, how can I get rid of that 3? How do we get rid of that 3? By what? By division, correct. So now my final answer is going to be y equals x plus 9 over 3. And that's going to be your answer. Now, if you really think about it, is there something else that I can do here? Can we try to simplify it more? If you were to divide this, correct? You're going to have y equals 1/3 x plus 3. Who sees that there? What did happen here? This simplifies, what's 9 divided by 3? 3. And then we know that there's an imaginary 1 here, right? So it's going to be 1/3 x. In your quiz, if you leave it like this, it'll be fine, okay? Because I know this is a little bit more confusing, but if you leave it like that, it'll be fine. But this is really the what? Your answer. Okay, let's look at number 2. Who are we solving again for? 2x minus 2y equals 5. If we're solving for y, what can I get rid of here first? Who can I subtract from here? Or add? Who do I get rid of? Do we get rid of the 2x or the negative 2y first? If we're solving for y, who do we get rid of first to move to the other side? 2x. And this 2x is what? Addition, right? Addition. So that means we're going to use the inverse, which is negative 2x. And I'm left with negative 2y equals negative 2x plus 5. How do I get rid of now of that negative 2 in front of my y? By dividing, correct? So y equals, what's negative 2 divided by negative 2? Positive 1, so it's just going to leave it as x, right? Positive x minus what? 5 over 2, right? Because 5 over negative 2 is still going to give you what? A minus 5/2. Number 3, we're still solving for 20 equals 8x plus 4y. Correct? Who are we solving still again for? For y. What do I get rid of first? The 4y or the 8x? 8x, correct? So I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides, and I'm left with negative 8x plus 20 equals 4y. And now what do I divide by? I divide by 4, correct? If I divide by 4, is y left alone? And what's negative 8 divided by 4? Negative 2x. And what's 20 divided by 4? Positive 5. And that will be your answer. If you wrote it, y equals 5 minus 2x, is it still the same thing? It is, right? My 5 is still positive, my y is still positive, and my x is still what? My negative 2x is still negative, correct? Now we're going to be solving for who? For x. If I have y equals 5x minus 4x, what do I do first? Do I combine the like terms? What is 5x minus 4x? What is 5x minus 4x? Just x, right? Is that your answer? Did I solve for x? Yes. Number 5, I have 2x plus kx equals m. And I'm solving for x, right? Can I combine that 2x plus kx? No, right? So what can I get rid of first here? What should I get rid of first here? I should group, correct? Can I group out an x over here and be left with 2 plus k equals m? Now what do I do to get rid of that parentheses there? I'm going to divide, and I'm left with x equals m over 2 plus k. And that will be your answer. Number 6, we have 3 plus 5x minus kx equals y. Is there anything I can factor here? No, right? So what can I do first? I'm going to get rid of that 3, and I'm going to be left with 5x minus kx equals negative 3 plus y. Can I now factor the x out? So I'm going to have x outside and left with 5 minus k equals negative 3 plus y. Now I'm going to divide by 5 minus k. And I'm left with x equals 3 plus y over 5 minus k. Questions? Rewriting and using formulas for area. A formula shows how one variable is related to one or more other variables. A formula is a type of literal equation, okay? So it's not specifically a literal equation, but it is going to be a type. Why? Because in most of when you are using formulas for areas, you're going to have measurements, correct? You're going to have some type of measurement to rewrite them. So let's go on to the next slide. Rewriting a formula for a surface area. The formula for the surface area S of a rectangular prism is 2 times what? Length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. That will give me my surface area. But it says solve the formula for the length of L. What do you think I could do here to solve for L? Who can I get rid of? I definitely could group, correct? But who can I get rid of first? You're going to get rid of first of who? Minus 2 times width and height. So I'm going to be left with S minus 2 times width and height equals 2 times width plus 2 times length and height. Can I now factor out an L? Give me a second. We can factor out what? An L, correct? So if I factor out an L here, what else can I factor? Can I factor a 2L? I'm just going to factor in LY. Or should I factor in L as well? I'm going to factor only the LY because I'm solving for L. That's the one that I want to do what? Leave alone, right? So I'm going to have L times 2 times width plus 2 times height. S minus 2 times width and height. Now I can divide by what? 2W plus 2H on both sides. And I'm left with L equals S minus 2H. I'm sorry, S minus 2WH over 2W plus 2H. And that will be your answer. Okay. Rewriting and using other common formulas. Other common formulas are going to be what? Your temperature, simple interest, and distance. Distance is, can you rewrite distance? Yes. Temperature, we have the Fahrenheit and the Celsius. We're just going to be working on temperature, okay? Which in this case is solve the temperature formula for F. If we look back, all right, so let's solve for the temperature formula for F. We know that it's C equals 5 over 9 times F minus 32. We're solving again for who? For F. How can I start getting rid of this? First and foremost, what should I do here? I'm going to get rid of that 5 over what? 9. Is that multiplication or division? This is what? That's multiplication, right? So how can I get rid of that multiplication? By doing the what? The inverse. That means I'm going to multiply it by 9 over 5 to cancel this out. And I'm left with 9 over 5C equals F minus 32. How do I get rid of that 32? By addition. So my Fahrenheit now equals 9 over 5C plus 32.